Yeah, see, I didn't think that was gonna be 20 minutes. Go. What? Whatever. Whatever, Discord.
Stay low. Wait until they pass by, then get into the tunnels. Come on. Let's stick to the tunnels. We gotta meet up with Nate at the bowling alley. Come on. We ain't gonna win if we fight.
Don't let him kill us.
Alright, let's get back into the first firefight of the game. So Resistance 3 is actually really, really good. If you've played like Half-Life 2, definitely has that feel, just way darker.
Sounds like they're gone. Yeah, I think they're gone.
Except I think the protagonist is a lot more relatable. Because he actually talks. Personality. Something Gordon Freeman lacks.
Christ! Let's go! Hybrids! Spread out! Hold them behind the trench!
I want to preface all of this by saying I'm not good at shooters. I just think I just connect with the Resistance series quite a bit. So this is kind of a solution for backwards compatibility. It actually really isn't, because backwards compatibility implies some kind of freedom in the titles you load, and you can do and the ability to freely load those titles. And PlayStation Now, while at least over a fiber connection, feels amazing. Which reminds me, I need to disconnect the old coax modem. Away. Get away from me. This isn't going to be a long stream since I probably want to go to bed in about an hour. Oh man. So I can tell you right now, my bandwidth usage is downstream for PS Now probably no more than 7 megabits per second. Upstream is actually way less than you think. But that's not the issue. Rip that guy. I want nothing to do with that. The issue isn't so much bandwidth, because Coax has the quote-unquote bandwidth. Oh, that's such a... That's such a cool secondary fire.
Get him out of sight. And get back underground. Everybody!
All scouts, report in.
North outpost, clear. South outpost, clear. West outpost is clear.
Tommy Dean, report in. Tommy Dean, do you read me?
Susan.
Joe. Oh. I thought I lost you.
I'm okay. How is he?
Oh, fever's down. A little. Joe.
That kid cannot be
reach Tommy Dean.
any older than 3.
His radio's probably out again.
Like, he's definitely not 4 years
Should I
old.
send Lester?
Alright. I'll check it out. Okay?
Joe. Be careful.
See if they're still up.
Unfortunately, these really cool firefights at the start of the game. The rest of it's just like solo.
Joe, honey, are you there? Bobby saw a dropship coming into land near you. Be careful.
Here, take these shrapnel grenades. Dale packed them good and tight.
Character models, man. One reason I like Resistance games, grenades go where the reticle is. They go straight for it. No mystery or... Yeah, I know, realism, but you know what? I don't care. I'm playing a video game. And not every game needs to challenge me, like, mentally. Like, you know, if I want that, I'll play Spec Ops The Line. Or Nier Automata. Check your friendly fire. Game is generous with health drops. want to know more about this world.
Thank God it's you. I had to turn off my radio. Death squads everywhere. Storm's coming. Out at the ridge. But it ain't like no storm I ever seen. Come on, I'll show you. Get ready.
Okay, they know about it. I refuse to believe that I can be stealthy in a cornfield like this. I refuse, but you know what? Whatever. This is incredibly responsive. And I am putting the game at a disadvantage because I'm using a wireless connection for my controller.
Tell me I'm crazy. What the hell is it?
It's a terraformer.
Susan, you there?
I was just gonna call you. A guy just walked into town. Says he knows you. Get a few drones following him. I've got everyone underground just in case.
No, we won't be safe underground. We have to evacuate the town.
Evacuate? What's going on?
Like, how did he not hear that order?
Thanks, Joe.
Susan.
Dropships are headed toward town.
So,
Hurry!
with a fiber connection, like, I've pretty much eliminated internet as a latency thing, or at least as much as I can.
Ryan! Run past it! We gotta get back to town!
All moving ready. Prepare for immediate evacuation. Tunnel under the church.
Into the barn! Hurry!
Ooh, that thing's big.
Close. Time to keep pace. Me and Joe are safe. There's a terraformer coming toward Haven.
Evacuation is already underway. You two get back here as quick as you can.
We're on our way. Oh, Christ. Out the back here.
You.
Lead the way, Joe. I'm right behind you. Steelhead! It's shooting through the walls! I got this one over here!
In the face.
That's all of them. Come on, we gotta get back to town.
In the.
That steelhead dropped its auger. It's yours now. You hear that? I think there's more of them on the other side of this wall. Nice. Sounds like you popped his heat stack. Let's go.
Oh man, I still think I'm playing Spec Ops. Burn, baby, burn.
to be sad, but I ain't. Just angry. Let's get back to town.
Trying to
Get through the mill,
do.
we're home free. Come on, Joe. Take him out. They're onto us now. Take him down. Good one. Moving up.
So if you blow up their heat stacks, they will overheat and those stacks will explode. Chimera are using humans as a host. Their metabolism's 12 times that of humans, which generates a lot of heat, so they have a cooling apparatus to take care of that. Drop the health. You. You're done. Oh! Oh, that looked painful. But that had nothing to do with me. Two eyes good, six eyes bad. Oh, rip me. Am I dropping frames? Huh.
Another dropship. I'll hold up here.
Like, grenades go where you want them to. Is that why people don't like resistance? Like, when you throw grenades, they go where you want? You don't look at something? When I throw a grenade in, like, Halo, for instance, the grenade just, like, goes 3 feet in front of me. Like, what superhuman soldier can't throw a grenade more than, like,
Let's move.
3 feet? Hold on. On scavenger hunt. I don't hate Halo. Don't, oh my. Well, I mean, Halo isn't exactly popular anymore. But Call of Duty isn't much different, to be perfectly honest.
I think that's all of it. Susan will have my hide if I don't get you back to town. Let's get back to town.
The door. I missed the flashlight.
Sounds like our guys got him held on the bridge. Let's flank him. Ready?
Crit. Oh yeah, check this out. Twofer. Oh, you suck. Why are you throwing grenades at me, jerkweed?
Thanks, Joe. You got here just in time. Where's Susan? Last I saw her, she was near the bank.
Scrounge for weapons and ammo, then get back to town. There's more of them on the way.
I swear they changed voice actors for Capelli. Like, he sounds a lot more like James Grayson. Just without the British accent. And Grayson's the protag from Retribution.
Is Jack okay?
Yes, he's in the tunnel.
Get him. Grab all the food, water, and blankets you can carry. Lester, barricade that street. Chimeran ground troops will be here in a few minutes. We'll have to hold them off till the rest of the town evacuates. I want to know who got us into this mess. Malakoff. You goddamn fool, you let him right to us!
Still have the anger issues, I see.
What's going on?
Nothing. Just a crazy old man.
Joseph, you must listen.
I can't help but feel like Capelli slimmed down for Resistance 3, but, you know, that might also make sense.
Power surged through the Chimeran Tower network toward New York City. There it activated a bridge through space and time. What they call a wormhole. Its purpose is a mystery, but its effects are clear. That tower in New York is slowly freezing our entire planet. I've been trying to find you for months.
We're moving everybody upstate. We might have room for one more.
No, you don't understand. I came here for Joseph. We must travel to New York City. We must shut down the tower.
Not a chance in hell.
Temperatures are dropping faster. We will not survive the winter.
What else is using CPU?
Any of us.
Joe, more dropships in the main street.
I'll be right there.
Joseph, I'm the only man alive who knows how to shut down that tower. I need you to protect me on the way to New York.
You want protection? Here.
I feel like my CPU utilization is way too high. Like, way too high. I only increased the bit upstream by... only increased the bit rate by 6 Mbps.
Follow the tunnel under the church. I'll be right behind you.
I'll call you and let you know when everyone's out.
Don't wait for us. You and Jack get out of here. Promise. Come on, Joe! Let's regroup in the shop.
We need help out of the junkyard. They're moving in. We can't hold them back. God, I'm hit. Ricky, get up. Ricky.
That was a Killzone 1 Hellgas right there. Chimeran AI isn't like the smartest out there, but it's not typically dumb. I would be very hard pressed to find an instance where... Oh yeah! Kaboom! Unfortunately, their grenade toss reach is just as good as mine. So anyway, so some PlayStation Now facts. Typically, a game stream is going to require no more than, I don't know, say 10 megabits per second. But for the video stream, that's all you need. The control for the control stream, which is upstream, you're going to need, like, it literally uses like 100 kilobits per second. So your typical internet connection as far as bandwidth is not the problem. The issue is latency. And that is the time it takes for a given packet of data to reach its destination. This is impacted This is impacted by a few factors. Are you connecting wirelessly or wire? Wired connections tend to have way less latency. I mean, unless you have bare copper, like on a carpet. Hold on. I need help. I didn't know there was something up here. Or... Alright, yeah, let's get out of here. Now, the issue of input lag is the total time it takes for say a button press to be reflected on screen. typically this means from your controller to the console, processed, action taken, and then sent to the screen. And this usually happens within... Usually games have between 1 and 12 frames of input lag. As long as like that's baked in, fine. And that input lag is based on how long it takes for your input to reach the console, or your PC. So that's based on a wired or wireless connection. Wired is always faster from a latency standpoint. There's wireless tech that actually has higher bandwidth, but that doesn't matter. That just means the size of the packets can be bigger. Doesn't change how fast they get there. So, for input lag, like I said, the typical scenario is controller to host, oh my god, I wanted the grenade to go there and it went there. That's so cool. I know, like, God forbid that happened. Call of Duty players are probably thinking, oh no, grenades, you have to learn grenades. No, you shouldn't have to learn grenades. It should just be like shooting. Like, I want to have fun. Distance is fun. Find this ladder. So, anyway. God, I lose my train of thought. This is why I should script. Alright, so your normal... Let's see if I can do this right. So right now, if Resistance 3 was playing locally, input lag at a high level is I push X, that signal goes from the button, the transmitter on the controller, to the console. The console then processes that and reflects it on screen. And this usually takes somewhere between 5 and 10 milliseconds. Alright, you have for a 60 frames per second game, you have a 16 millisecond budget for time. Rip.
Come on, Joe. We ain't got much time. Run! Run! Grab my hand!
Alright. Now that's the normal scenario. Now I could also wire the connection, in which case it's let the time between button press and the console receiving it and sending it to the TV is all less than 1 millisecond. So the TV still takes time to actually respond to the input it's given. Alright, but that's the normal layout. Let's just assume, best case scenario, I have a wired controller connection and the game's being played locally. So it's
Dr. Malakoff says that if you go to New
input transmission to the console to the TV. Alright? And usually that'll be about 40 milliseconds. So 2-3 frames generally, on top of whatever the game's natural input lag is, and that's based on game engine. There's nothing you can do about that. Alright. With game streaming, you're adding two more things into the mix. High level, there's actually way more going on. So if I hit X to jump, loud. So if I hit X, it goes to my console, out to a server, back, and then is reflected on TV.
Stay prepared, Joseph.
Actually, it's console to router to modem, whether that's an actual modem or ONT, if you've got fiber. And then that goes out to a server. Oh, what?
The Chimera have changed their strategy. They used to capture us, send us to conversion centers, and turn us into hybrids, or worse. Now they kill us, and just leave our bodies to rot. Why the change? Alas, it is a mystery to me. To uncover the Chimeran plan, I must look to their history, their origin, their true nature.
Right, so, and then, so I push X. That instruction went from my controller to the PS4. It goes to my router, to my service modem, whether that's a modem or ONT. Then that goes out to a server somewhere, comes back to the service to the ONT, to my router, to the PS4, and then reflects on screen. You're adding a lot more latency. Ice block and the magnet. They're too difficult.
The roadway is blocked. We will follow the river through this mill.
So with your internet connection, there's things you can do with your internet connection. You have a wired or wireless connection. Wired connections have less latency, even though these days
Joseph,
a wire and
Kraken. It must have lost its way from deeper waters.
Yeah, I don't have fond memories of these things.
What a fascinating creature. If only we had time to stop and examine the carcass.
So anyway, so things you can do to reduce latency on your network, local network, which is all you have control over, is you need a fast router, at least a dual core. That's plenty. My Netgear R6400 has a dual core at 1.7 gigahertz, so that's pretty cool. So it can process it really. It's fine. It's fast enough.
We may not be as safe on these waters as I had hoped. Here, take this. It has not been fired for some time. Test it on those blast roofs over there.
Good. That shotgun is effective in close quarters only. I modified its secondary fire with longer-range concussion grenades. Try it.
Very good. If you need more ammunition, you should find it in the container on the main deck.
Alright. So with an internet connection. So I'm just assuming, I'm not even taking into account coax or fiber or ADSL, like telephone line. So copper or fiber.
See where this takes us. We must stay away from the Goliath.
So one thing you can do, if you're wireless, you really should be running wired if you're running something latency sensitive like game streaming. Or just actually streaming in general. You stream, you should be wireless. You should be wired.
Look how the ice is collecting on the Chimeran power conduits. The passage looks a bit narrow, but I think I can squeeze through. Hold on.
So if you wire up, now at a router being between your console and say your modem or ONT doesn't really impact latency in any meaningful way. It is less than 1 millisecond. So you're fine there. You don't need to worry about that. Even if you have a switch in between as well. I think I've got 15, 20 feet of Ethernet.
The water is shallow, but we must keep moving.
Joseph, did you hear that?
Hello? Is anyone there?
Motherboard is not -1 centigrade. That is impossible.
They're jumping onto the boat.
I need to actually verify that the Ethernet being run outside the house is weather resistant, because lately where I live we've been getting wrecked with pretty powerful storms. And on top of that, we're going to be going into a winter. So freezing and unfreezing is going to cause some problems. Anyway, so my setup is PS4 wired into a fast router, gigabit Ethernet, even though the bandwidth of your Ethernet doesn't matter so much.
Find open water.
Scrims can be scary. Dead.
This street leads to the docks. Open water should be ahead. All Grims on the roof of the diner. More ice. I will try to speed
Only
through.
100 drop frames. That's probably CPU. That's probably a CPU issue.
They're stuck on the ice again. Quickly, Joseph. They are boarding the boat.
So worst case scenario,
More open waters.
and we haven't even factored in transmission medium yet over the internet, is wireless controller with wireless internet connecting wirelessly to a router going online. Alright, that absolute worst. Oh, and then you've got post-processing on your TV. Basically, in that scenario, I think even with fiber, you would be, like, it would be almost unplayable.
Lindemann, we have your girl, Molly. There's a cabin on the north end of Ball Lake. Meet us there. We'll have Molly waiting for you. And there it is, folks. As I always say, keep helping each other and together.
Shock drones. It appears they are attacking a group of leapers. Those leapers must be feral, evolved independently, free of the hive mind. Very curious. This phenomenon requires further study.
Alright, so ideally I'd be connected to... So in my setup, so beforehand I was on copper.
They have shorted the engine. Stop! Plastic bomb, stop! Come on! Pizda!
Keep speaking Russian.
I got it! Hold on!
So if you wanted, if you had to stream games, the best setup would be...
Joseph, I am trying. Hold on.
The best setup would be wired connections, wired controller to a PS4 that is wired to a router, to your basically your internet source, because from console to router to modem is essentially makes no meaningful difference on your time budget. So wired internet connection on your console, wired controller
Yes, we have found the river.
over fiber,
According to my map, we are now on the Mississippi.
and then
The city of St. Louis should
the
be
next
close.
biggest source of
We'll
input
stop there
lag
and
is
look for
actually
supplies.
your display. TVs generally have input lag measured in between 30 and 50 milliseconds. That's between 3 and 5 frames.
Oh, look, ahead of us. Goliath.
So
coming
you have
this
3
way.
to 5 frames of input lag introduced by your
We have
TV.
no choice. We must stay here
And
and pray it does not take notice.
2 frames between 2 and 4 frames over your internet connection. We're still still alright, but then your game's gonna have some input lag based on the engine, because everything takes time to process. Everything. Your console has to respond to what instructions it's been given. Now there's nothing you can do about the game engine. That is the bare minimum input lag, assuming everything's perfect.
Start! Fighter, Torsky, Loki! The Goliath has seen us! It is turning around! I got it!
So if my next upgrade would be a TV with lower display latency, but that's really expensive, especially when game's plenty responsive. Now, I wouldn't speedrun Mega Man 9 on this, but I could absolutely play Mega Man 9 over PS Now.
We must outrun the Goliath. Hold on! Dropships! Long legs on the right!
That's a trophy, by the way.
Rocket incoming! Hold on!
Get off the boat! You don't have a ticket!
Or injured, Joseph. Go into the deck house. Long legs behind us! The other side, Joseph. Hurry! In the back of the boat. Up to the deck house below me if you are injured.
Dead it. So basically, the things you can control for input lag, I guess if you had more money than sense, would be TV and router.
Just in time. This boat is falling apart. Long legs, straight ahead. Dead end.
Back off, jerkweed.
Behind you. Behind you.
I feel like Malkov spent all his resources on health.
More of them, straight ahead. The engine is overheating. This boat will not last much longer. They have us surrounded. Excellent. Open water. Our fortunes have turned.
Why would you say that?
Good God.
This way. No. Another one. We have no choice. We must keep moving. Past them.
Alright, there we go. And we're done with the Haven chapter. So if you had to game stream, I would say wired controller to a wired internet connection over fiber. Bandwidth doesn't matter. So long as it's reasonable.
someplace warm.
There's a fire. That's warm. Yeah, over fiber. And I mean, if you really wanted to kill input, like do some damage to input lag, you could go to a gaming monitor and then just have some, like go to an HD receive, like a
That coal
AV
tower,
receiver,
safe place to rest. Must find
and
a way
then
out.
have an output, a video output to like some kind of PC monitor. Those typically have response times measured in millisecond, like 5 milliseconds or less, which is less than a frame. Which means, yeah, that would actually be the ideal setup. Oh man, they weren't kidding. Shotgun so I can fire. Hey! Kurt. Stop. I like exploring just ruins of 1950s United States. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so like if you want the absolute lowest possible latency, then you should be investing in, well, you're gonna need an AV receiver because the fastest gaming monitors, as far as response time, will not have audio equipment. And an AV receiver will not add anything to input lag because those are typically just pass-through for video. If they add anything, it's a millisecond. Trust me, if you grab one of these monitors, you've got budget. So you're adding 1 millisecond but subtracting like 30. So that I'll take that trade. Plus, honestly, I really should have an honest-to-God AV receiver because this setup I have right now is jank AF. Like, nobody should have the setup I have right now. It is actually crap. Like, if I guess the first thing I should do is rerun everything with 4K HDMI. Oh, you look like giblets. Nice camouflage, actually. That needed to be bigger. Like to have a base or something. I'm still floored at how responsive game streaming can be, though. This is nuts. And all we did was change an internet service provider. That's it. That's all we did. We went from coax to fiber. And now this is... Oh my. She looks mad.
Widowmaker is feral, extremely dangerous. We must be cautious in this city.
I should have grabbed that health while I was out down there. Oh, what the hell do I know?
Don't look at me like that. I'm old.
Okay, so this is the closest you're gonna get to, like...
Vito, we can use it to get to New York. We must find it before the Chimera. I need to rest. I will be safe here. Go, Joseph. Find that Vito.
What I need to do is put in some time on Devil May Cry 3, just to prove that this is a You know what? Tomorrow, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just gonna put in some time on DMC 3. Because my PS3's hacked, so I'm not connecting that to PSN. That's a really bad idea. Oh god. Atomizer. To the Big Bang. I like how it tells you the upgrades too. Even though it doesn't, like, those names don't tell you what they do. Well, okay, the first upgrade tells me what it does. Arc Charger. So that doesn't tell me if it functions like the Resistance 1 Arc Charger. I wish this actually emitted light. Unfortunately, this is not a weapon you'll be using too much. Doesn't have that much utility. Even fully upgraded. Yeah, I'm gonna prove. Because, I mean, I'm alright Devil May Cry 3 play. Oh, crap! I shouldn't have done that! Okay, well, that was gonna tank a PS3 anyway, so whatever. I wonder why they chose to slow the melee down. Also, Spec Ops: The Line is currently available on PlayStation Now. if you have a PlayStation Now subscription, you should absolutely play that game. It's so good. It's ridiculously good. But not for the reasons you would typically associate with good.
They barricaded all the exits. They say it's just a temporary quarantine until they can figure out which workers are infected and which aren't. I've seen those barricades. Nothing temporary about them. Leave us in here, would they?
Should probably be using hedgehog mines. Brutal kill. Alright, I'm probably gonna be cutting the stream off after I clear this section, because I really should be going to bed soon. Yeah, that's... I don't know. Maybe I get me a low latency display, but they don't come in very big sizes. Take that. Okay, yeah, this strat's working. Actually, Augur's really good if you can get them to line up like this. Good did it. Not excited about the idea of a low latency display simply because they are smaller. Like PC monitors are typically 27 inches at their biggest. Like, and I have no reason to do it unless I was like going hardcore into content production.
My husband died today. It's just me now. I think I can deliver the baby on my own, but I'm not sure if I want to. What kind
I'd be willing to bet Mega Man 9 becomes almost locally like it almost matches local. We're gonna get up to this section where we see the VTOL, and that'll be it. Deadener. Oh yeah, this is trophy targets. Headshot. Okay, what is... Oh, I see it. I don't know why I didn't know that, but whatever. Should have known that. I think that's optional section anyway, just because... Go. I just... And you know what? Here's what's surprising me. This looks so good. Even though it's being streamed. Like, this is nuts. I mean, local, I think, still is going to look better. Actually, I know it will. I just don't know to what end. Stop. Stop. Why? Not good at shooters. Oh man. That fell, I thought, oh god, someone walked up with a gun. Alright, this is it. Alright, so I'm gonna have to call it quits because I do need to go to bed. I have to be up at... But tomorrow I'm actually gonna hit DNC 3 real hard. so I can build up gear and skills in that game. Just to kind of prove my point about how good PlayStation Now is if you have a fiber connection. Anyway, thanks for watching. Come back tomorrow. Check out the cool stuff.